Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your friend here, JP. And first and foremost, I want to say sorry because I've been a little absent in for the last 2-3 weeks or so. I made a goal that I wanted to make a video once a week, you know, of any topic, any subject related to watches. My goal, I guess, is to make videos a little bit different than what you guys are used to. You know, videos that are done by professionals that get into the specs, that get into the details of the watch and all that stuff. My goal is to just make videos of everyday subjects from people that actually own the watches, whether it be a $300 watch or a $10,000 watch, right? I just like to share my experiences and kind of pick subjects that, I guess hit me in a certain way, if that makes any sense. Subjects that I say, oh, well, that's actually something I didn't think of that somebody may take use for it, right? Or use my advice, I don't know. Anyway, so today I want to do a video on two of my GMT watches. And the video that I want to do today is mainly regarding what I think about these two watches and what I think about luxury versus entry level, how I got into luxury watches, kind of, even though I already explained that story in my other videos. Compare both watches so you guys can see the difference, to just pretty much say my input on the way they feel, the quality, the build, whatever, that presence, wrist presence, and all that good stuff. So I have here my watch collection. If you haven't seen it, go check it out in my other video. I'm gonna try to get a little better view for you guys to see. Anyways, today's watches are gonna be my Seiko 5 GMT. Just a little close-up look on it. Hopefully the camera can focus decent. And let me take it out of here. This is my Seiko 5 GMT. There you go. I'm gonna go ahead and turn off the light on my tripod a little bit so you can get a better view without the glare. There it is. Maybe this helps a little bit. Here you go. This is a Seiko 5 GMT, which to many is considered the best value GMT watch you're gonna get for the price range. And the reason I chose these two watches, I'll show you my other one in a little bit, is because I want to focus on watches that have color. Watches that have a little bit of a pop to them, which is something I've come to like lately. So this is the first one that I want to show you, and then we'll go into the details. And then we're going to be comparing it to my Tudor GMT Black Bay. And I apologize because there you go. I can't seem to get. There we go. I'm gonna put it slowly. You guys, if you want more details, check out my other video that I did on this watch already. So let me turn the light back on so I can look more handsome. And then let's remove this watch. I'm gonna put them side by side, guys, so you guys can see them side by side. Now I wanna kind of focus on wrist presence when it comes to these two watches, how they make you feel. being that these two watches are completely night and day when it comes to price range. This is a $5,000 watch. I think it was 5.5 for the Seiko. It was like 6,000 out the door. I gotta double check, guys. I don't remember. This is a $500 watch. This Seiko 5 was in my Christmas wish list. So, I told my son that this is what I wanted. He gave it to me for Christmas. So obviously, because that reason has a lot of sentimental value. After seeing, like I said, so many good reviews online, for what you get, I wanted this for our secret Santa that we have with my family. So it's a beautiful watch. It's got an orange dial. It's not the actual bezel is it's not even a crystal. It's I think it's mineral. Sorry, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but it looks like ceramic a little bit from far away. Obviously for $350, right? You can't expect much other than the great movement, reliable, and fully automatic. So that's how this watch came to my hands. It was a watch that I wanted. My son got it for me for Christmas. It's got an open case back. Again, you can't expect the most beautiful finish when you have a watch in this price range, right? So this was my first GMT watch. This is the watch that got me into the world of GMTs because, like I said, I had dive watches. I have dress watches. I have chronographs, but I never had a GMT. So this was my first one. So when I first saw it in the catalog, I instantly, I want to say, fell in love with it. Not completely in love with it, but for what you get, right? It's a beautiful watch. It's very sexy. It pops. You can wear it. It does turn a little bit of a head, because of the color. It's shiny. It's got its own charm to it, right? So then I saw this baby when it came out in Watches and Wonders last year. And if you guys know anything, those that know that this is a very fan favorite watch, and you can see why. It's a beautiful watch, it's super sexy. Some call it the Coke, some the vanilla Coke, whatever you want to call it, but it's a 39 millimeter. It's a master chronometer certified, cost certified, has all the certifications, new movement. Again, Tudor killed it with this one. They knocked it out of the ballpark with this watch. So adjustable clasp or T clasp, whatever you want to call it. It's really got everything you want in a watch. Now, obviously, being that it's a new movement, being that it's a Tudor is Rolex sister company, all that, we understand that. So now I want to jump into the way the watches make you feel. This is something that, as I got more into watches, I started to understand more about myself. And I want you guys to understand that this is a personal feeling. It's a personal feeling that you have. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. There's no right or wrong. There's no reason to judge or to call somebody snotty or whatever, or not a true watch enthusiast or whatever. We have watch collectors from many different price points. There's some that only collect Movados, Citizens, Seikos. They have 20 watches. Instead of saving, not buy those 20 say Movados, they could afford to buy maybe one of these, right? But they decide to have a collection. They like to see quantity over, say, quality per se. And again, everybody has different choices or different opinions or different goals, right? So my goal is to have, obviously, mainly luxury watches. Again, that's just me, followed by enthusiast watches as well, as you can see, right? So one thing that you right away, off the get-go, when you compare both watches, you understand why one's way more expensive, right? Not even the movement, let's put that movement aside, but the actual quality of the actual watch. Now let me go back a little bit in my journey. When I was a kid, I had not G-Shocks, just a regular Casio with a calculator. I'm not sure what the model is called. It was the one with a calculator. You guys remember? Anybody that was born in the 80s? Yes, I'm old. You remember those Casio with a calculator, right? I used to love those. I used to press it, and I was just obsessed with the fact that I had a watch that had a calculator. So that was when I first got into watches. I used to wear it everywhere I went. And that got me obsessed with watches, and then I became a teenager, and I ended up buying a Citizen, and then eventually I got a Movado one time, and then I got a Fossil, right? Watches that we can all afford. And then back in the days, 15 years ago, when you started realizing there were brands like Rolexes, and I remember back then, a Rolex was the average price range was about $4,000 to $5,000. And I remember thinking, my God, who the heck will pay $5,000 for a watch? So then you would see movies, and rich people, famous people, whatever, and then you always saw these guys with Rolexes and Omegas and whatever. So I never understood really. For me, a watch is a watch, right? And for the average person, and you know who I'm talking about, for the average person, for 99.3% of the population out there, that's what they see. They'll tell you, why would you want to buy this for $5,000-$6,000 when you can buy this for $300, right? They both kill time, and as a matter of fact, let's take it a step further. Why would you want even this when you have your iPhone that has the time? Come on, guys. We all know that that's not the reason why we get watches. We all know that that is not the reason why we get watches. We get them for so many reasons. And one of them is the way they make you feel. For me, that's a huge one. How does a watch make you feel? How do you feel when you wear it? How do you feel when you wear it at the gym, or with a certain clothing, or at work, or at a meeting, or just out there grabbing a coffee with your girl, right? Or your guy, or your boys? How does it make you feel? What does it tell about you? How does it bring your confidence up? How does it bring your demeanor, change your demeanor, right? So all those things for me is what a watch brings, and we understand that because obviously there's brands like Richard Mille, Patek Philippe, that take it to a different level, right? Longchamp, Constantin, all those brands that take it to a next level. So I never really understood, until I start putting all the pieces together, right? There's an old saying that says, knowledge is knowing where all the pieces go. Wisdom is knowing what it means when you put them all together, right? So I guess wisdom is what we're talking about. What does it really mean when you put it all together? So when I got into luxury watches, and in my other video, you guys will see, and I'm gonna do it real quick because I'm gonna jump from one thing to the other. But you guys will find out this was my first luxury watch, right? This Tag Heuer Carrera. I'll put it back. Once I crossed that $5,000 and above range, I started really finding out why there's such a big price difference. From far away, somebody might say, well, it's just a watch, but when you get close, look how it rattles. Like a rattlesnake. See the bracelet? Literally. It's like a rattlesnake, right? The glass is super flimsy and cheap. The movement obviously inside is super generic. The case is super thick. I'm not even sure they use 316L. If you guys know, they drop it in the comments. I think it's 316L, but even the steel doesn't seem as good quality. The bezel, the way it rotates, is really like tough and rough, and there's no sound to it at all. The movement is pretty smooth though. You see that? Yeah, that's just Seiko with a nice quality movements, right? Well, I would say more efficient in quality and reliable is what I want to use. Again, this is a Toyota Corolla of watches. Once you start seeing the details, right? The clasp, very cheap, very flimsy. Let me go ahead and put it on. From far away, because of the color, I would definitely say that it has wrist presence, super chunky and bulky. You see, it's a watch again for the money. You can't go wrong with it, right? And it does spark conversation for enthusiasts, from enthusiasts. There's nothing really special on the dial when it comes to details. It looks something what you would expect of a you know, $300 to $500 watch range. You know, the day window is actually pretty. The Cyclops is actually pretty decent for what it is. You know, the hands are very, you know, they're very flimsy, cheap. Again, the overall construction of the actual case. Once again, the bracelet. It is extremely flimsy. I mean, you understand that watches like Tudor. See the difference? I mean, the sound you hear is just regular, you know, me moving a little bit, right? But there is no rattle. The clasp, it is extremely well made, extremely well constructed, amazing quality. The 316L on this watch is just outstanding. The finish, the polishing, even the base of that closed case back, but even the case back, you can see how well constructed it is. The bezel, the clicks. The details in the actual dial, the hands. I mean, it is night and day, guys. It is night and day. Completely night and day when you compare them as far as the build. Just like picking it up, you can hear it. It's like those morangas, the cha-chas, whatever you call them. But when you put all of that aside, right? From far away, you're walking down the street and you have this and you have this, they both pop. They both pop. You see that? They literally pop. Let me put this one on again. But I think that that's where it ends, right? The pop, because of the color. Seiko did an amazing job with this color. And they know what they're doing. They know their customers. They know what price point they're gonna sell them at. They know what people are willing to pay. And they know that they're gonna give you a very good, reliable watch. It's gonna last you forever for a fraction of the price of this. So, here comes the snotty in me. One thing that I came to realize about myself is that I am not a true watch collector. I'm a luxury watch collector. That's my goal, right? There's watches still that I need to buy that I'm gonna get. And I said in another video as well, you know, I'm a lot weighted to Rolex, as many people are, followed by, you know, Tudor and other watches that I have. But for me, when I wear this, I feel fun. I feel like I don't know, like a fun person. It's just like no pressure. I can bang it. I can walk to downtown San Diego, and maybe not the best of areas. I can travel down south because I'm from San Diego, so I go down to Tijuana, Mexico for some tacos, and I can wear this one. I'm not afraid that I'm gonna get mugged or whatever. If somebody wants to rob you, here you go, take my Seiko, right? I can wear it with a nice suit, sporty. I can dress it down, dress it up. I think that because what these watches do to me, all my luxury watches, it just kind of changes your demeanor a little bit, right? It's almost like they help you grow in life from where you are in life. I cannot explain it. That's just how I feel. I think Sylvester Stallone said it best in one of his videos, right? Watch collecting is about having something that you buy nice for yourself that kind of says, hey, I did something wrong, something good in life. Let me reward myself with something nice. and they measure where you are in time, right? So whatever accolade, award you won, or achievement you broke, you get yourself a nice watch, and it reminds you of what you did to earn you this. So this, for me, the value that it has mainly is my son's. It was a gift from my son to me, so that has a lot of value, right? But say I would have bought it for myself. Say I just would have bought it for myself. I would not care if I'll gift it to somebody later on, give it to somebody again. If I misplace it or lose it, I'll be like, yeah, whatever. You know, it's a fun watch, and that's it. Now this one has its own story, right? It means something to me. I know why I bought it. I know how much I paid for it. In today's world, you know, spending anything over, I don't know, I want to say $3,000 in a watch, anything over $1,000 is a lot of money. Let alone $6,000 like this one out the door. When I wear this watch, as my other luxury watches, it speaks to me. I feel great. I feel successful. I feel that all the sacrifice and hard work that I did when I was younger to be where I'm at today, I feel like it was worth it. It reminds me when I see my little bit of my gray hairs here or wrinkles, being that I was a very young dad at 18, that I did something good raising my family, you know, putting my wife through college, my kids. I have a 26-year-old son, almost, he's 25, and I have a 23-year-old daughter, right? So they're doing amazing. For me, luxury watches mean a lot because the same reason I said earlier, most people cannot fathom of you spending anything over in thousands of dollars in a watch. You can get this beauty for $350, right? So once you get your house, once you invest your money in real investments, once you have regular money in the bank for other stuff, once you buy, you remodel your house like how you want it done so you be happy, once you help your family, support your family, help your loved ones, once you do all those things that really matter, then and only then can you get yourself something like this. So for me, a luxury watch means that. It means, yeah, I have $6,000 on my wrist. Very nonchalant, very casual, and I can wear it whenever I want. And it represents what I've done in life, the good stuff. It represents when I see it, hey, I went in and I dropped $6,000 of my hard-earned money. Again, this is after I did all the right things in the areas that I just mentioned, right? After all that, then you treat yourself with this, or with many of these, right? They all have a story. But that's how I perceive myself, or that's what I want to bring out to you guys, that luxury watches for me, as for many, is kind of what it represents, right? I don't feel the same when I wear this. I feel like, again, I don't feel the same. I feel, okay, just a watch. And I feel more like the people say, just tell time. What time is it, right? I have not used a GMT function in this one or in this one, as is many of you, right? I have not used a GMT function. I think it's fun, but I have no need for it. I'm not gonna travel overseas with it or whatever. Most of us just buy it because we love the two-tone colors. We love to say, hey, I have a GMT for what it means. Right? It's a pilot's wife or a traveler's watch, whatever you want to call it. And from Tudor, who does amazing things. When you get a watch that people love, it's like the fan favorite. It feels great when you wear it and somebody sees it and they'll say, hey, that's a nice watch, that's the new one, or whatever you want to say. And then you start talking about your watches and that kind of stuff. But like I said, that's kind of where these two kind of split, right? The crossroads. The fun watch, affordable watch. If you are a actual pilot that you are gonna use you want something for functionality, yeah, come on, man, just buy yourself this. Or you need a GMT, this will do the same thing as this one for a lot less. But most of us guys, and we know this, we don't care about the function, and we really are gonna use our iPhone, right? If we travel. For us, watches, it is what it is, guys. It is a piece of jewelry. It's a piece of man jewelry that is not as flashy as say something like this, whatever, or whatever, or even this. It's just a piece of stainless steel, man-made, man-polished man assembled, you know, that had a lot of time into it, precision, accuracy, something mechanical, something very primitive that pretty much has to have the same technology for hundreds of years. You know, guys, like it's something so beautiful in today's world that you get something so mechanical that really overcame the quartz crisis. It's overcoming the smartphone crisis, if you want to call it. It's Apple watches, Google watches, whatever, and they still exist. So let's just enjoy that for now, guys, because with today's economy or the way things are heading, you never know if companies are gonna go out of business. You never know if people are gonna be able to buy these, because right now people just want to get the money to survive, right? But that's what watches mean to me, right? I need to have a watch that represents something that means something to me. And luxury watches, for that reason, is why I prefer luxury watches. The majority of my collection are luxury watches, with a few here or there that are enthusiast watches, like a couple of Tissot's that I have. The majority are expensive watches because I feel amazing when I wear them. I just feel different, guys. I feel like I have, again, I know my life has value and way more important things than this, right? But I feel like a little extra value, right, than who I am. That my kids see me with this watch, my wife sees me with this watch, and one day when it's time for me to pass on, hey, they're gonna say my pops or my husband wore this watch. You know, let me put it on. That's what it represents. It's a part of him. So that's where I have my different opinion from a lot of people. I am not ashamed of saying it. I'm an open book. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I love luxury watches. I'm not gonna really jump into buying a bunch of Citizens and Movados, and I'll rather take my time. And now, as I graduated a little bit more in my collection, even now I'm gonna take a break of buying Tudors and just focus more on buying a few more Rolexes, right? I want a Master, GMT Master 2, Batman or Batgirl. You know, I want to get obviously one day a Daytona. You know, if God permits. You know, I am already a buying customer at the Rolex AD, so that's give me a good chance to buy another one from them at regular MSRP. But you know, for me, luxury watches are a big part of who I am, and it's how it makes me feel that matters. So for the naked eye, buy this one, right? For us loving watch enthusiasts, something like this is much better. Now, I want to kind of go a little off subject and kind of say something that I was debating with a person on YouTube. So on one of my videos, a gentleman made a comment and said that these are not tool watches. And I can't remember the exact comment, sorry guys, but it was something about they're just for people that want to show off, they want to show that they're there, made it, or one of those things. And I said, yeah, you're right. Rolex, Tudor, Omega, Cartier, whatever. Yes, we all know that they're a big part of what they are is for presence, social status. Who are you? Are you successful? When you walk in a meeting, right? You catch people's attention. You earn people respect when they see a luxury watch. Absolutely. You watch if you go to any meeting, right? Unless it's somebody that's like a top CEO of the company that you already know that's not a watch person, has an iPhone, whatever, right? But I'm talking about the regular person, the worker, the business guy, the guy in sales, the manager, the director, whatever. You walk in with a luxury watch and you already right away demand the respect. You see that guy with an iWatch and you're like, oh, okay, well, you know, again, to each their own, right? But this guy was saying that because there are iWatches, that these are no longer tool watches. And I told this guy, just because something or society made something very expensive, like a Rolex, for example, or Tudor, especially Rolex that you can't really buy at the AD, because there's a big demand and because people pay more than retail oftentimes in certain models, and people wear them for, I guess, show off, just to just say it. It doesn't change the main purpose of why the watch was invented for. We all grew with our times, right, guys? We grew in you know, through life. You know, and at one point, people killed whales for blubber to energize their houses. And then that went to, oh, wait a minute, we don't have to kill whales no more. Now we have oil we can dig from the ground, and then it produces energy and gasoline and diesel, right? And then from there, it went to, hey, now we got solar power, we got wind power, all this stuff. So we keep evolving, and now we have electric cars that are super fast. But does that mean that because we have a Tesla Play that's electric, does that mean that a Porsche 911 Carrera GT3 is not a Porsche or a sports car? Because now you can actually get a Tesla that it's electric? Think about it. It's still a Porsche, it's still a vehicle, even though you have a Tesla that's electric. So I told the guy, just because you have an Apple iWatch, guy, or your phone, does not mean that this is no longer a GMT watch or a tool watch. Somebody out there is still gonna use this watch, use the functionality of it to measure the time zones. Man, what a beauty, right? Somebody is gonna use this, right? Like I literally use my Submariner when I work out to time a 1 hour workout, right? 1 hour workout, okay, I'll change it. Boom, there it is, right? So then once it hits the minute mark, oh, I did 1 hour. I think it's fun. Instead of me looking at my phone or my whatever, I just use my actual watch. So correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but this guy kept saying in his argument that no, they're not two watches. That's a label, a title that does not exist no more. And then the guy, you could not beat that guy in an argument. The guy kept going back and forward. He would not take no for an answer. I said, all right, guy, you win. These are not tool watches. But what is it, guys? Are there or they're not tool watches, right? Is the price range, because of the price, because of what it represents, because of people, how much people want them, does that make it not a tool watch anymore? Right? I don't know. Maybe it's just me. But anyways, that is just my story on these. Now, as far as the comparison, like I said, the quality, it's night and day. The movement for the money, it can't be this one. If you want to feel amazing, if you want to feel successful, if you want to feel like you arrived, if you want to feel like you are going to lead that team, you're going to kill in that meeting, that you're going to, nail that presentation, that you're going to go ahead and show everybody around you that you mean business, you want to feel that way, you'll get this. If you want to just have a watch because you're a real enthusiast and you want to just have something that has a nice color, that you're going to get a little bit of attention here and there when you go on a date, maybe with your girlfriend, if you're in your 20s, and she's going to say, oh, that's a nice watch, and she doesn't know much about watches, this is going to be for you. It's going to say, hey, I like watches. I'm getting started, but one day I'm going to get to this point and then climb up the ladder. So overall, these are, to conclude, right? These are my two GMT watches. One is very inexpensive, value, versus high, I want to call it high mid-range luxury, right? I don't want to say it's mid-grade, I guess. We know that after that I climb up, but again, $350, $6,000 out the door. So which one would you pick? On value, functionality, well, they both do the same thing, right? On vibes, character, investment, what else? So obviously I'm gonna give the win to the Tudor in all those categories, but I'm gonna give it, I don't know, maybe we have two categories. This one takes the win on value, obviously, right? But once you buy these two watches and put them together, if you are able to do that, you're gonna find out there's a huge difference in build quality. Cheap versus premium. So, apologize guys if I went to different directions all at once. Once again, I have ADHD, so I tend to do that. I don't have a teleprompter or a script. I just kind of say whatever comes in my mind. So I may jump from one subject to the other, but that's just who I am and that's me, and that, what can I say? But overall, this is still one of my favorites. This is still one of my favorites because my son gave it to me, so it has sentimental value. I would definitely 100% recommend this. For the value, I give this watch a 10. For the value, this gets a 10. For the heritage that this watch is, for the performance you get from it, for the new movement, in-house movement, the build quality, the overall sexiness of the watch, it also gets a 10. So there you have it, guys. I hope you guys have a wonderful Sunday. Hope you guys enjoy yourself, and I hope that I can make a video for you guys pretty soon on a different subject, something that maybe we can mix it up a little bit here and there. But y'all have a wonderful, wonderful Sunday. God bless. Take care, and I'll see you soon.